You're watching South Asian Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 19th of June. PM Modi concludes historic three-nation tour, strengthen ties with Cyprus, Canada and Croatia. Trump hosts Pakistan Army Chief, disagrees with India over India-Pakistan war mediation. And US resumes special visa services for Afghans. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday returned to New Delhi as he concluded a successful three-nation tour. The multi-nation visit witnessed improvement in relations with Canada and marked a historic milestone in bilateral ties with Cyprus and Croatia. We have a report.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in New Delhi on Thursday as he concluded his three-nation visit to Cyprus, Canada and Croatia. The visit by Prime Minister Modi to Cyprus was the first by any Indian Prime Minister in over 2 decades, at the invitation of Cypriot President Nikos Christodoulides. During the visit, Prime Minister Modi was conferred with the island nation's highest honour. During the discussion, India reiterated its unwavering and consistent support for the independence, sovereignty, territorial integrity and unity of Cyprus, a reference to Turkish occupation of northern part of Cyprus. The development came amid Turkey's support to Islamabad over the recent tension between India and Pakistan. In the second leg of his three-nation visit, the Indian Prime Minister arrived in Canada for participating in G7 summit on invitation of Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, signalling a thaw after months of diplomatic standoff which began during Justin Trudeau's term. Prime Minister Modi held bilateral talks with his Canadian counterpart, after which both countries agreed to reappoint high commissioners for their respective diplomatic missions in Ottawa and New Delhi. On the sidelines of G7, Prime Minister Modi also held engagements with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. Talks were also held with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, South Korea's Lee Jae-myung, Japanese Premier Shigeru Ishiba, and French President Emmanuel Macron. In the final leg of the multi-nation visit, Prime Minister Modi reached Croatia. The visit to the Central European nation was the first by any Indian Prime Minister ever, where in a rare gesture Prime Minister Modi was received by his Croatian counterpart Andrej Plenković at the airport in Zagreb. During the delegation-level talks, both leaders engaged in wide-ranging discussions on various aspects of the bilateral partnership, including trade and investment, science and technology, defense and security, space, cultural cooperation, and people-to-people ties. Following the talks, both countries also signed 4 memorandum of understanding in the field of agriculture, science and technology, culture, and over the renewal of a Hindi chair. The Indian Prime Minister called the visit as being at home and added this visit ushers in a new journey in friendship and cooperation between India and Croatia. Before emplaning for New Delhi, Prime Minister Modi also called on Croatian President Zoran Milanovic.
Moving on. A flight carrying at least 110 Indian evacuees from Iran arrived in New Delhi on Thursday. India's junior Foreign Minister Kirti Vardhan Singh said that more flights will be sent to evacuate the citizens from the conflict-torn country. The evacuation came as Israeli forces stepped up their bombardment of Iranian cities. Earlier, an Israeli military official said that 50 Israeli jets had struck around 20 targets in Tehran overnight, including sites producing raw materials, components and manufacturing systems for missiles. Iran responded with a fresh volley of missiles at Israel and a new warning that it would strongly respond against the United States if it joined the war. Students were seen expressing their happiness after coming back to India. They also appreciated the efforts the government of India took to help them.
बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे तरीके से हमने शायद इतना एक्सपेक्ट भी नहीं किया था. हमारी डॉर्मेट्री डोर से लिटरली उन्होंने हमें लाया है. हर एक स्टेप पे, हर एक पॉइंट पे हमारी हेल्प की. यहाँ तक पहुँचाने में हमें आई डोंट थिंक किसी को भी कोई प्रॉब्लम हुई होगी. हम उसके लिए बहुत ग्रेटफुल है जो गवर्नमेंट ने रोल प्ले किया हमें यहाँ तक लाने में, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने। जी
बहुत खुश हूँ, बहुत खुश हूँ। खुशी बयान नहीं कर सकता। अपने घर वालों को देखने के लिए खुशी जो है बहुत ज़्यादा है।
वहाँ के हालात को देखकर क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
वहाँ के हालात बहुत वर्स्ट हैं, वहाँ के लोगों के लिए भी। वहाँ छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं, सब लोग हैं, हमारी तरह ही लोग हैं सब, वो भी सफ़र कर रहे हैं। वॉर अच्छी चीज़ नहीं है, कहीं भी हो दुनिया में वॉर अच्छी चीज़ नहीं है।
And in an unprecedented meeting, US President Donald Trump hosted Pakistan's Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir at the White House on Wednesday. The lunch meeting was the first time a US president had hosted the head of Pakistan's army, widely regarded as the most powerful figure in the country, at the White House, unaccompanied by senior Pakistani civilian officials. Trump said he was honored to meet Munir and that they had discussed Iran, which he said Pakistan knew better than most. Trump told reporters he had thanked Munir for ending the war with India, for which he also praised Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who he spoke to on Tuesday night. Following the Tuesday conversation, the first after hostilities ended between New Delhi and Islamabad, India had once again said that the ceasefire was achieved through talks between the Indian and Pakistani militaries and not US mediation. Prime Minister Modi emphasized that India has not accepted mediation in the past and will never do, Indian Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said in a video statement. Notably, Pakistan has thanked Washington for playing a mediating role. However, while India has repeatedly denied any third-party mediation, the heaviest fighting in decades between India and Pakistan was sparked by the April 22nd terror attack in India's Pahalgam that killed 26 people, including a Nepali national. The attack was claimed by the Resistance Front, a proxy of Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba. And the US has resumed special immigrant visa services for Afghans, offering resettlement support, including housing, jobs and language training. The announcement marks an important development for thousands awaiting relocation after months of uncertainty. The US State Department also confirmed the development. In a message on X, Afghan evac called on SIV holders who arrived in the US within the last 90 days to promptly contact a resettlement agency to start accessing available assistance. The agency clarified that those SIV holders who have not yet entered the US will be eligible for these services as soon as they arrive. This policy shift follows a period of restriction under former President Donald Trump, who had imposed a travel ban affecting citizens from 12 countries, including Afghanistan. The lifting of these restrictions now allows many Afghan allies to seek safety and stability in the United States. The resumption of SIV processing and resettlement services reflects a renewed US commitment to its Afghan allies, many of whom supported American missions during 2 decades of conflict. Meanwhile, UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Türk will visit Sri Lanka from June 23rd on a 3-day official tour, following an invitation by Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath. He will meet top leaders including President Arunakumara Dissanayake and the Justice Minister, and travel to Kandy, Jaffna and Trincomalee to access ground realities and engage with communities. The visit comes amid persistent concerns over Sri Lanka's failure to ensure accountability for rights abuses during its nearly 3-decade-long civil war, which ended in 2009. Thousands of civilians, mostly Tamils, were killed or disappeared during the final stages of the conflict. Successive governments have promised reforms, but progress on justice, reconciliation and repealing draconian laws like the Prevention of Terrorism Act remains limited. Ahead of the visit, rights groups including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have also urged the UN official to press for new counter-terror laws to align with global human rights standards. And from overcoming social stigma to becoming a fitness inspiration, the journey of Udit Shrestha, a speech and hearing-impaired gym trainer in Nepal, is a powerful reminder that disability is no barrier to strength, determination and success. Take a look.
Meet Udit Shrestha, Nepal's hearing and speech impaired gym trainer, who is working as a fitness instructor for 8 years. For 31-year-old Udit, exercise is not just building muscles, but a way for transformation. Growing up in a society where he had to struggle from navigating his daily life to completing his education, adaptability became his greatest strength. sports became his solace during challenging times, helping him prove his ability in the rural setting where he was often looked down upon. Motivated by the belief that exercise is more than just building muscles, he transformed it into a form of self-expression and a way to test his limits. He began spending his leisure time at the gym, working out and assisting others, which eventually paved the way for him to become an instructor.
हाम्रो यो शङ्खमुली हेल्थ क्लब एन्ड फिटनेस सेन्टर यो 10 वर्षमा चल्दैछ र यो बीचमा भनौँ न 3 वर्षपछि नै उहाँले यो क्लबमा जोइन गर्नुभयो। त्यतिखेर उहाँ चाहिँ एउटा जस्ट क्लबको एउटा मेम्बर।
Udit's success as a gym trainer is remarkable, as he has forged strong connections with his clients and motivates them. His journey stands as a testament to the fact that disabilities need not be limitations to professional success or personal fulfillment.
And that's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Till then, good night.